Hey there, it's Aaron, and today is August 3rd, 2011. This is not my usual setting. I'm in the family room, and I thought I would share music I've gotten over the summer. I mean, I was over at college, and I got some things in the mail, and over at some music stores, and actually, you know what? I think I've put some stuff away, but I'll mention the names of them. Of what I don't have, maybe a little bit later. So, I got the things over here. I don't know if I'm going to do them in any order here. I guess I can try and do them in some kind of order. I mean, I think there were some albums I got like in June, but then I came back home for the 4th of July and I left some. So, yeah, without further ado, I'll show you what I got here. Okay, start with the earliest here. Got the Paul McCartney reissues. They are both the McCartney albums, McCartney from 1970 and McCartney 2 from 1980. These were reissued back in June, and they both have the original album and a second disc. This one, amazing album. I think Paul made this in secret, because if anybody knew that he was making an album without the Beatles, then there would have been a big uproar about it. So this was released about a week after the announcement of the breakup with the Beatles, and it's just really a good album. Most of the songs on here were supposed to be Beatles songs, but it just never worked out. The reissue, well, it comes in like this. There's some future releases. Maybe I should get into those. That the next release is in this archive collection, because they came out with Band on the Run last year. So, in no certain, I don't know if this is in order, but the next four that are supposed to come out are Venus and Mars, Wings at the Speed of Sound, Wings Over America, and Ram. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any of them, unless they entice me with some some bonus material. The bonus material on here is quite disappointing. There's only 25 minutes of bonus tracks, and they decided to put it on one disc when the original album is 34 minutes, so it just could have fit right onto the other disc. But it's a good album, and I like this. Now, McCartney 2, I know there's been a lot of hate about this album because mainly a lot of the songs are using synthesizers, and it doesn't sound very much like a Paul McCartney album. I'm going to be honest about this album. I really like it. It's really weird, and I like how Paul had in mind that, he wasn't, in his mind, he didn't mean to have this stuff released as his next album. People just said, oh, it sounds like your next album, and he said, well, it probably is. It was originally going to be a double album, but it ended up on one disc. So the original album sounds pretty good, and this was my first time listening to the album when I first got it. And the second disc has much more material than the second disc on the McCartney album. It's got some songs that were supposed to be on the two-disc album, and like Mr. H. Adam is one of my favorites, which has Linda singing. It's almost like a Yoko Ono B-52s kind of song. I kind of like it. So there's a booklet attached to it. So McCartney 2 is pretty good. I like it, personally. Okay. Now I don't know if I'm going to go in any order here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to sort of just show you what I got here. Maybe these two for next. Okay. I got Zuma by Neil Young. Considered one of his better ones? Best ones? I don't know. I like it. I'm not too crazy about it. Cortez the Killer is on here, so. Caras of Steel by Rush. Bit of a weird album, and they admit it themselves. Some good songs in here. The weirdest of them, of course, is I Think I'm Going Bald. So, pretty good album. Alright. The next albums I got here are, I originally had on vinyl. I transferred them from my USB turntable to digital. But then after years and years of listening to them, I kind of wanted to hear the CD versions. Plus, they had some bonus tracks on there. And I'm talking about the first and third Spirit albums. Now, if you don't know Spirit were a band from California formed by a guy named Randy California and his stepfather, Ed Cassidy. Randy California used to play for Jimi Hendrix when he was very young. I think it was about like 16, 15. And so he formed a band with his stepdad, a jazz drummer. And we got 3 other guys. One of them, Jay Ferguson, the singer, he later had a minor hit or some kind of hit with Thunder Island, I think it was called. And he went on to compose the theme tune for The Office, the US version. So this is the first Spirit album, and I really like this album. It's got, well, Fresh Garbage is awesome. Mechanical World, Elijah is a great jazz kind of track, Gramophone Man. Some interesting liner notes from Randy California. He wrote them, I think, about a year before he died. And so yeah, really good album. Pick it up if you like, late 1960s music, psychedelic. Now their third album. Now I have their second, The Family That Plays Together, from Amazon's MP3 store, and I have 12 Dreams from iTunes, and I also have it on vinyl. And I also have the album Feedback, which is not very good. Now the third album, Clear, is probably the weakest of the first 4 Spirit albums. But it does have some great songs on here. I like Dark Eyed Woman. I like Groundhog. Truckin'. I'm Truckin'. Yeah. And there's some bonus tracks on here, like 1984, which I think was a bit of a hit single for them. And yeah, it's a very dark album, Clear, but pretty good. Right. Okay, now I go over to one of them I've owned for years, but I wanted to get it on a CD. I don't even need to say the name of it, alright? Now, this album, I mean, it's in my top 5 favorite albums. But for the longest time, I had it on a CD or copied by my uncle. Now, I didn't like having it copied, so I wanted to go get the CD version when Rick Wright passed away, but nobody would take me to Target or whatever. Okay, this was 2008. I couldn't drive yet. So I just bought it off of Amazon's MP3 store, and it sounded good. I mean, it sounds really great compared, I think MP3 tracks, they sound fine. I mean, if you get them on, it's fine. But, I mean, part of me still wanted to get it on CD, so I found a copy for $4.99. It's the 1994 issue, although it says 92 as well. But, I listened to these side by side, the MP3 and this one, and the MP3 sounds much louder. But I think this is better off to have. And I know that the Pink Floyd catalog is going to be reissued. When is it? September? Like late September? I'm not getting them. Okay, and I also have The Bells by Lou Reed. Not one of his best albums, I think people would agree. Some people say it's horrible. But there's some songs I really like on here. Stupid Man I like. Disco Mystic is kind of corny, but I like it. And yeah, I can't really name like favorite songs here, but it's not bad. So Lou Reed, The Bells. Okay, and I got 2 more here. And I got The Byrds, Fifth Dimension. And the only album by The Byrds that I had before I got from iTunes, Mr. Tambourine Man. And Mr. Tambourine Man I wasn't too crazy about. Fifth Dimension is a very good album. Well, it's got 8 Miles High on it. The self-titled track is wonderful. And I also like Mr. Spaceman, and I come and stand at every door. So, good album. And this I had to get for the 40th anniversary of Bangladesh. And it's the concert for Bangladesh. This is the 2005 reissue that came out along with the movie, which came out on DVD for the first time. I didn't get the CD at first because I already had it, the original CD, which I think came out in 1992. My copy since then has been scratched up, so I decided to get a new copy. And it's nicely packaged. If you ever had the, what is it, All Things Must Pass reissue, it's similar packaging with, booklet, the little mini disc holders or whatever. But it still sounds good. I mean, some people don't like the mix on this album for some reason, but yeah, I think it sounds fine. So that's what I've got. And, some albums I did get, like iTunes bought. I got Love Out There, or Out Here rather, and Atomic Rooster's Death Walks Behind You. So yeah, that's what I've gotten so far this summer. All this. And talk to y'all later. Okay. Bye.